A tripod is a really useful tool for photographers. It helps when you're using low shutter speeds, such as when you've got high apertures or in low light. It just helps keep the camera steady and your image sharp. It's also useful if you're taking something like this and you want to make sure that you keep the focus, because if you were doing it handheld, it'd be hard to keep it if the focusing is very exact. But the other thing is about tripods is people don't like using them because, well, you've got to set them up, you've got to carry them around with you, and for that reason, people like to be handheld. However, it's for that reason that it can take a bit of time that a tripod can be useful when you're learning or trying to improve your photography skills. Because when you have to take time to set it up, you're thinking about your framing, your composition, and perhaps a bit more about your exposure. So if I want to take a photograph of this, I would think quite detailed about how I want to set this up. So because it takes me a bit longer, I'm automatically teaching myself a little bit more about composition, how I might position this as well, and also what might be in the background so I can tidy the background up. Quite often people don't see those things when they're just being handheld. So what you do is you can set it up, you can adjust it like I'm doing now, and then I can tighten it up, I can get an exact focus as well, and click and get my photograph. So I've had to take a bit of time to do that. So this is a really good technique for actually improving and thinking about what you're doing. And I say that for anyone that's new to photography, use this a bit. You don't have to use it all the time, but it does make you think a little bit about how you're composing the photograph. Now, the other thing that I tend to do as well is I take it off from the tripod sometimes, line it up where I want it, and then move the tripod into position. I've got a quick release plate on here which comes on most tripods, so that helps take the camera on and off really quickly, but just make sure that you've locked it and just give it a bit of a pull on it just to make sure that it's safe on there. It's easy to put on and then not notice actually that it's not quite on correctly, and the last thing you want is this falling off. The useful thing about quick release is that when you do take it off, you can put this down somewhere safe and move the tripod around. I do think it's actually a good idea. Not only is it then easier to move the tripod, but also less chance you might accidentally knock this off if you accidentally knock any of these quick releases here. So this is a useful tip actually for using tripods, and also a good way to learn composition.